Welcome to the Profile Series. I'm your host, Linda Sandu. Today I have three special guests. We have Jill Talladay, Melinda Gallant, and Andrew, say your last name.
Todorov.
Andrew is from Capabilities. You're the Director of the Business Development.
Yeah.
Jill is founder of CARE for the Cape and Islands. It's creating a responsible environment for the Cape and Islands. Welcome.
Thank you.
And Melinda, you are one of Jill's board members, and we'd like to welcome you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am. I'm very fortunate that she anointed me to be on her board. That's how I look at it.
That's very nice of you. Jill, we're going to start with you, and I want you to you're a brand new nonprofit to the Cape. I want you to give us a little history on who you are, and then about your nonprofit that you've developed.
Okay, sure. I've actually worked on the Cape in the tourism industry for many years, and a couple of years ago I went back and got my master's degree from George Washington University in sustainable tourism. Like many of us, I came here because of the beautiful environment and the seashore and everything, and I've been concerned that it stays as beautiful as it is, because that's why we live here and why visitors come. So I started CARE for the Cape and Islands to provide an opportunity for our visitors to give back while they're here, both through financial donations and also the opportunity to volunteer. And last season we did a pilot project with the Wauquasit Resort, and we raised money for the Cape Cod National Seashore.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And we donated $1,000 to them recently.
Good.
And then, so we learned a lot from that opportunity, and we're expanding it this season. And we've solicited some additional lodging properties to work with us. And in addition to that, we're expanding beyond. We're going to continue to fund the seashore, but we're also working with the Provincetown Center for Coastal Studies, the Falmouth Bikeways, and Capabilities, which is why Andrew is here.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I know that Melinda, you all are always looking for other businesses to get involved with your organization. Is that correct?
That is correct. And you know what's kind of funny is that I work in the retail industry in the Upper Cape. So for me, the question was, well, Jill, thank you for asking me to be a part of this, but why would I want to be? I mean, really, what does it have to do with me? And after a lot of thought about it, and realizing my background, which also deals somewhat in the arts as well,
sure.
I thought, oh my gosh, this makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense not only for hoteliers and resort folks, but it makes sense for the restaurants, and it makes sense for retailers. It really can make sense for just about any business on Cape Cod, because let's face it, our primary focus, certainly at least 8 months of the year, is on the visitor.
Right.
And asking those visitors to help sustain what we have here is not out of the question. It almost seems like it's a natural thing.
Most want to figure out a way while they're here to give back, because they appreciate it so much. And that brings us to Andrew, who everybody loves Capabilities, knows the farm stand and the wonderful food. And I think it's a great PR outreach, let alone that you're receiving some money hopefully from this, but also that your name is being associated with this organization, because they do sort of drive people to your business as well. Is that how you look at it?
Sure. No, it's great to be a part and be thought of as an asset to the community, because that's what we try to be.
Absolutely.
We're growing local produce, which there's not a lot on Cape Cod, and most visitors, they do come for the beach, but after the beach, everybody likes sweet corn, everybody likes fresh tomatoes and fresh cucumbers, and so they can come by the farm, and so it's great to be a part just of the community, and great to be thought of, for your program.
And you're also supporting local restaurants.
Yeah, absolutely. And so when folks go out to dinner, whether they know it or not, a lot of the local restaurants will have our lettuce, our salads, and so from pretty much Hyannis to Chatham, we don't cover too much of the Upper Cape.
Unfortunately.
We're trying to do more actually this year, but yeah, that they're going to go out and they're going to eat some of our salad that we grow hydroponically at the Dennis Farm, and the tomatoes and the cucumbers, and so hopefully they'll enjoy themselves.
And that's where the visitor is going to see how the farm has evolved. It's no longer
Sure.
planting things in the ground, is it?
Right. Now in Dennis, it's hydroponic, so we're growing lettuce, tomatoes, and cucumbers in different mediums. Now the lettuce is grown all in water, so there's no soil. Now the tomatoes and cucumbers are grown in coconut fiber, which is it's interesting because most folks associate a farm with dirt and rows and rows and tractors, and we have no tractors. We do have rows and rows of tomatoes, but it's interesting, and people are welcome to visit the farm. We're open every day in the summer, and they can come see. We have there's about 2,000 tomato plants in Dennis. There are about 1,600 lettuce plants that grow, and so there's it's handicap accessible. Folks can do a circle and do a lap around the farm, and then we also have other local products. We have like the local soap and local honey, so it can be a full day, or at least part of a day.
That's
to come
wonderful.
Visit. Yeah.
Oh, I think that's great. Jill, tell me a little bit about how does this process work? So people go to the hotels that you suggest going to because they're supporting your organization. And so walk me through, if I'm a hotel guest there, walk me through what I could expect.
Well, there are a number of different opportunities. Some hotels are just automatically adding, say, $1 per room night and informing the guests when they check in what they're supporting. Then there are others that prefer to ask their guests, so they make the information available. And the guests can donate if they so choose. And then we also did a call to artists, and for photographs from local photographers, and we're developing this gorgeous postcard. The photo that we selected was taken by Spencer Kennard of a salt marsh and the beach with the beautiful sailboats in the background.
Oh, nice.
So a guest could buy those, and a portion of the proceeds are going for the various organizations. And then we've got a really great logo, so we're going to be selling decals of the logo, and we're hoping that people all over the world will end up with the logo.
How
promoting the organization.
That's great.
Well, and the idea too behind the decal is, what a great way to leave Cape Cod and say that you care for it.
Oh, sure.
So you take it home and you take it back to, I don't know, Omaha, for lack of anywhere else, and you put that decal and it says, cares for the Cape and Islands. And they go, wait a minute, what's this all about?
Easy to look up.
Right. And the other thing too is the postcard for hoteliers for their guests. They can also be purchased by the hotelier and given to the guests, because this postcard isn't just your normal everyday, oh gee, I got a postcard from Cape Cod. Or greetings from Cape Cod. This is actually a piece of artwork that is gorgeous, and it's suitable for framing. You could put it in a small mat and hang it, in your entryway or in your bathroom or in your bedroom or something, and people would stop and take a look at it because it is so gorgeous.
That's a great idea.
The colors are unbelievable.
So when you're doing a call out to businesses to get more involved, tell me a little bit about what you're looking for and who should be contacting you to support your organization.
Well, first and fourmost, the lodging properties, it makes perfect sense for them. And then retailers selling the postcards or the decals. We're actually going to be packaging them. There's some of the B&Bs that have gift shops that are going to be putting them, and we'll have a little package with a combination of the postcards and the decals.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. If they just want to put a little box on their counter, and take spare change, we'll take anything that we can get.
Just
it all
to
adds
give back,
up.
yeah. And how was the presentation for the Seashore when you gave that? Did you do a big
We called out to the media. We were out at their headquarters, and we had Rich Delaney, who's actually on the chair of their advisory board and is also the president of the Center for Coastal Studies, was there, and George Price, the superintendent, was there, and so it was a rather blustery day. We took some photographs, and our hair was all standing on end, but it was really
appropriate,
great.
right?
Yeah, it was appropriate, and we had a representative from the Wauquasit Resort that was there as well. So yeah, they're very appreciative, and we hope that we can do more to support them in the future.
That's great.
Yeah.
And Andrew gets to be the next appreciative business to
that's
say
wonderful.
thank you to you.
Yeah. And we would probably sell your postcards as well, because we actually have an extension in Chatham that we call Farm to Table, where we sell our produce, and we always like artsy stuff to sell.
Ancillary items.
Yeah. Well, people like it. They do.
They do.
I mean, especially if it's attractive, for sure. And it's neat that at our farm, we're able to farm and do tomatoes and produce, but a lot of local people come, hey, I'm starting this business, I'm starting that business. So we can lean on some people too.
All to benefit capability. So how could somebody say no?
Right,
I mean,
right.
honestly.
That's true. The other thing too about folks out there that are watching this and they're saying, wow, this is so great, I'd like to get involved. And I know you're going to put up information about how they can get involved and what have you. Not only businesses, but if somebody out there says, I really want to give to an environmental group, I normally give to this, or I'm going to add them to my list of I want to give a small donation. They're more than, they're more than welcome to do that. We would love it, first of all, and they will be recognized by us in some form or some fashion during the year. But it is, this is something that's so brand new that when Jill first talked about it, and she said, well, they're doing it in Costa Rica, and I went, in Costa Rica, and it's a huge success because even though to me it's a third world country, it isn't really. It is, but it has so many resorts and so many people who go there for seeing what's there and for the environment. And now they're doing it in California. And there's no reason why here in New England, with all the good things that we do, especially after all the bad things that have happened recently, all the good things we do, that we can't come up with for this as well, and really take care of our environment, which is what we're trying to do.
Right, and I think you're right. I also think there's we talked about this, how we're all connected and none of us really knew each other, and then all of a sudden, oh, you know so-and-so, and so it is, that's how you're going to build a really great nonprofit, is through connections, and we know that the way to do that is by giving back, and if a nonprofit can give back to another nonprofit, that's how we're all going to
That's terrific.
be sustainable here.
I also wanted to mention, there are a lot of visitors that come and stay and rent homes in addition to the hotels. And so I did actually reach out to a couple of organizations that do that. So we're looking at reaching out to the rentals as well.
Right, because as I said, we hear that all the time. People coming to visit, they love the place. What can we do? We always send them to the farm stand. We always, send them to places kind of out of the ordinary, but of a way of giving back.
Well, the other thing too is if they go to a cottage, I know in Sandwich, if you go to we have a cottage on East Sandwich Beach, my husband and I do. If you go to our local realtor that handles our cottage, they get this fabulous beach bucket.
Nice.
And in that beach bucket, there's all this stuff. So realtors could also purchase these postcards and help it out by either putting them in the bucket or by attaching them to the top of the bucket, or writing a note on it and saying thank you so much for coming to us for your cottage. Hope you have a great stay. So there's all kinds of things that can be done with this, and we're only limited by our own imagination, aren't we?
That's right. You know what? Exactly.
So
exactly.
Let's get out there.
Jill, I think you're doing a great job. Andrew, as always, thank you for coming. Melinda, so nice meeting you. And we hope everybody gets involved with CARE for the Cape and Islands, creating a responsible environment. I'm Linda Sandu. We'll see you next time.